pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll make a motion to approve the non-public and public meeting minutes of January 22nd, 2026 and February 5, 2026.
Second.
Can I just clarify?
Motion by Sean, second by Don to approve the minutes of the meetings, he said.
Can I just clarify, they both got put on there, but it's only public minutes on January 22nd, and then it's non-public and public for February 5th.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you for the clarification.
Any discussion on said minutes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda for 2/19/26, consisting of accounts payable manifest 2025 dated 2/12/26, accounts payable manifest 2026 dated 2/12/26, accounts payable manifest AC Harper's WEX dated 2/12/26, payroll payment manifest dated 2/12/26, resignation of Cheryl Sawinski.
Sajewski.
What's that?
Suzuki.
Suzuki, sorry. My apologies, Cheryl. From the Community Events Committee effective February 9th, 2026. Appointment of Jeremy Fisher as Planning Board alternate for a 3-year term through February 19th, 2029. Appointment of Brett Dunn as Planning Board alternate for a 3-year term through February 19th, 2029. Appointment of Mark LaRosa as a Planning Board alternate for a 3-year term through February 19th, 2029. Appointment of Mark LaRosa as Energy Committee member for a 3-year term through February 19th, 2029. Release of Community Revitalization Incentive for MAP Lot 114-107 and 114-121.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Don, second by Sean to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion on said agenda? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda.
Make a motion to seal the non-public meeting minutes from tonight's earlier session, because it is determined that divulgence of the information likely would affect adversely the reputation of any other person other than a member of this board.
I'll second.
Motion by Scott, second by Sean to seal the minutes of tonight's non-public session. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And minutes are sealed. At this point, we will open the public hearing relative to the social districts in the town of Bristol in accordance with RSA 178:34. I don't know if any of you folks are here for that, but we'll open it up if anybody has any concerns.
Can I just point out something for you too, Mr. Chair? So we have to hold this hearing, not necessarily to discuss whether you're voting on this tonight, what you're setting tonight, or whether it goes on the ballot. This is just to take public input
Yep, strictly for
on
input.
the social districts itself. You've already made the decision to put it on the ballot, but this is a requirement that we allow the public input.
Ma'am? If you could, when you folks do talk, just state your name.
Anyway,
And we go.
Just me?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so I wrote up some comments here.
Can you tell us who you are?
Yeah, I'm getting to that. I'm Cheryl Suzeski from
Okay.
River Road, Bristol, here to offer input about social districts. People might assume that they can bring a 6-pack of beer or a bottle of wine to drink in a social district. That's not what New Hampshire social district law allows. New Hampshire Chapter 178, Section 37, requirements for possession and consumption of alcoholic beverages, states the possession and consumption of an alcoholic beverage in a social district is subject to the following requirements. Only alcoholic beverages purchased from a licensee located in or contiguous to the social district may be possessed and consumed. They shall be in containers that meet the requirements and consumed during the days and hours set by the town. The person shall dispose of any alcoholic beverage before exiting the social district. Containers that meet requirements are detailed in section 36, requirements for sale of alcoholic beverages. Those requirements are,
Ma'am, do you have a comment on the actual motion? We understand what the,
well, I want to make sure that other people,
yes, we do, but I just didn't know if you had specific input relative to the proposal, not what the proposal actually is.
so I do have concerns, is that what you're saying?
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay, well, I wrote them up in the context of the law, but if you don't want me to read the law. So restaurants and bars will have to design, purchase, and provide a separate inventory of cups for any of their alcohol to be taken into the social district. Who will be designing the social district logo? Who will be manufacturing these cups? Is the town going to incur a cost to provide these containers? Then also, okay, you don't want me to read the law. The law says signs posted in a conspicuous location. Bristol does not enable the posting of any events or meetings in a conspicuous location downtown. Do people in Bristol really want to see signage about days, hours, and rules about a social district instead of events? Downtown Bristol has few, if any, public garbage cans, so how would the requirement that the alcohol be disposed of before the person exits the social district be fulfilled? Whose responsibility will it be to ensure that the requirement that alcohol is only consumed in the social district and during the posted days and hours? What plans does the select board have to ensure the requirement that the social district shall be maintained in a manner that protects the health and safety of the general public? If alcohol will be allowed at Kelly Park, how will children using the playground there and the children at the Tapley Center across the street be protected? Is the police department on board for their role? Whose responsibility will it be to provide oversight and to regulate all of this? To provide the requirement of, quote, management and maintenance of the social district? A select board member? The police? Is this a new employee? And at what cost to the town? Where is the money coming from to pay for all of this? Lastly, does this make sense for Bristol? Unlike Concord, Bristol does not have a long main street for strolling down. Bristol does not have multiple small amphitheater parks surrounded by small restaurants where the town hosts music events and where people can hang out sitting on publicly provided seating, such as the amphitheater steps, granite blocks, and permanent benches. Nor does Bristol provide permanent public waste disposal bins. If Bristol had public amenities such as these, then declaring a public social district could make sense. Bristol's downtown square already enjoys restaurants that already offer their own legal outdoor seating. There are few other places to go, other than into the road or the parking lot. Also, the square is surrounded by businesses with large, tall glass windows. Encouraging people to leave a licensee and to walk in a confined area with alcohol in their hands encourages mischief, and the town incurs potential liability. Do social districts make sense for Bristol? The establishment of social districts incurs liability. There are risks with little benefit. It will cost money to create, manage, and maintain these areas, according to law. Large cities often have the infrastructure and can absorb these costs. A small rural town like Bristol has other financial priorities. Social districts do not make sense for Bristol. Thank you.
So, do you have a comment?
I have no comment on the social district.
Anybody else have any comments on the social districts?
I just want to point some things out to you that are in your folders. There is the statutes that were being referred to are in your, the folders. The final version, chapter 158, that one there is the directions on how to establish it and what has to be taken into consideration. And then there's a briefing memo I kind of drew up so you knew the steps. We don't.
Is that available for the public to view
I
somewhere?
haven't yet.
Is that might
I
answer
wanted
some of
you
this
guys
is-
to see it first before I put that out to the public. But yes, I can get that out. It talks about, so that briefing memo, can't talk, does talk about the requirements under the law, the public hearing. It talks about you do have to do the district boundaries and signage, but that does not have to be defined before the vote on the ballot is only to say Bristol can do this. And then the select board and whoever you feel needs to be on these committees to establish these rules and regulations, probably the police chief, but then they establish the rules and regulations and have to write a particular, maybe an
So the vote on the
ordinance.
ballot is the enabling
Just
legislation.
allowing it, yeah.
Right.
I mean, you could talk to people and let people know what your intent, what this board's intent has been, you know, the two locations, but.
So I was gonna address a couple of the things, if everybody's okay with that.
Yeah, go for it.
So, first and foremost, I think this document's gonna answer a lot of your questions as far as what the town, ultimately, the select board is gonna have to be responsible for is, you know, what are the actual districts, where is it appropriate, where is it not appropriate? You mentioned the COP specifically, you know, who's gonna bear that expense? I would say likely that's probably gonna be an expense on the business, because that ultimately they're the ones profiting from the sale of the alcohol, so I wouldn't imagine the town would be providing that. As far as waste disposal is concerned, I don't foresee that being an issue at all. I'd like to say that I think it's a great opportunity for the town of Bristol. Particularly, we have businesses in town that have very limited seating. We've got a great outdoor green space on the common that could be enjoyed by folks in that, coming from those businesses, which could, you know, bring some more revenue into the town. You know, at the end of the day, any soccer mom with one of these, you know, could be walking around with a drink in their hand at any time. This is just saying, yeah, you're all adults, it's okay. It's not encouraging people to drink more. It's not, people are gonna do what they're already doing. So I think it's an excellent opportunity for the businesses. It's a good idea for us to bring, you know, we discussed at some point, you know, you might have, and this is just an example, something like a food truck festival that could come in. And, you know, there could be, you know, people could enjoy a drink if they'd like to there. You know, we have businesses in town. We have one microbrewery in town, or nano brewery, I guess you would call it. You know, we previously had a wine business in town. And those are the kind of businesses we're trying to attract. And we previously had another brewery up on Peaked Hill Road, which didn't have a lot of opportunity to be able to do a lot at their location, but if we had some type of festival or something at Kelly Park or down at the lake, it gives them an opportunity as a local business to come in and profit from that as well. And,
I read the law.
yeah, okay. Yes, I wasn't quoting the law, I'm just stating my
I
opinion.
think some of the assumptions that you're making are not consistent with the law.
No, okay, it's your opinion, you're free to have your opinion, so, yeah. Anybody else have any?
I have
Sure.
a question, Brett on Beacon Hill. Has there been any data collected or studies done in terms of any increased arrests or traffic incidents of these towns that have these social districts? And that's one of the questions there, if someone can find that data to see, like, no, there's no increase in drunk driving. And two, has the police chief had input into what his opinion, because he's gonna be the one that has to enforce the bad eggs.
Yeah. Christine?
I did do some research today because I was trying to find an existing ordinance or regulations, and there are none of, the towns that have adopted it this year.
Yeah,
So
it's-
they haven't gone through the steps yet to establish those regulations, so there won't be any
So
data yet.
you're not gonna find
This is
it.
a new law, so
Yeah.
there's no,
You're not
there's
gonna
no
find-
history you're gonna find.
You're not gonna find metrics inside of the state of New Hampshire for that.
Yeah.
You could look at, you know, for instance, if you might find a similar town in, you know, another state that has that allowable and say, you know, what's their percentage of incidents? You know, this town is not gonna allow vagrancy downtown as a result of a social district, of somebody being able to bring their beer outside of, you know, the downtown brewery and walk across the common and sit down and enjoy a band playing at the common. That's not gonna be allowed, and, you know, nor are the local business owners gonna support that either. This isn't, the idea of this isn't for somebody to go grab a 12-pack at Cumberland Farms and sit down on the bench all day drinking beers and throwing the empty cans over their shoulder. We're looking at this as a benefit for the citizens and the businesses of the town. Not as this isn't, we're not looking for a hippie hill. I don't know if you're familiar with Danbury at all.
Well, I mean, look,
Or New Orleans.
Sure, I think
yeah.
for Bristol, it ends up being a simple, like, our economy is based in tourism.
Yeah.
That's the economy of the town. You look at where all of the funding pieces come from, when we swell in people in the town, it's during the summertime in some of these pieces. So it's a matter of how do we structure things which is attractive and helpful to the businesses. But step one of all this is the town in favor of us taking it to the next step to figure out, we need X number of signs that we end up getting placed here, just some of those pieces that are back and forth. You're absolutely right, Cheryl, like, here's how the law lays out, okay, these are the things that are possible to do. We need to be able to take that next step, but in order to get to there, we have to first go before the town and say, are you open to having social districts, yes or no? And again, I think from a business perspective, we're trying to figure out how do we capture where the town's trying to go as a community. What is our economic driver, and then how do we support that in a proper way?
I understand what you're saying, and that was my first assumption.
Yep.
And then I, as I tend to do, pulled up the law and looked at the
Yeah.
law, and the law, and that's why I wanted to read the law, and unfortunately I couldn't explain the law. There's a lot in, the law is highly restrictive, to the point of the kind of cup you
we
carry
understand.
into the social district.
Yeah, and it's, the intent of that obviously is to be able to make it easily identifiable, so you can understand when something is legitimately participating in the social district versus it isn't. But from a Bristol perspective right now, we haven't even gotten to the point of, okay, how do we put the finer points on, this is how you're gonna get it, and then yes, the businesses, it'd be my expectation that the business, if you wanna participate, you're going to buy the cups are designed, and, you know, the town's not gonna take on that expense. We're trying to do this to enable business growth and to enable more visitors when they come to town, especially in the summertime, that there's an experience that they're going, okay, yeah, this makes a lot of sense, this is fun, right? So, anyway.
It's
Christine.
going to be the select board and the town's responsibility to manage the,
Yep.
you can't,
And
I don't see that you're gonna be putting that on the restaurant owners.
at the end of the day, the town this could get voted in, and this group may come together and say, this is too much, we're not taking it on.
And
Christina was
I
good.
want to add to that too.
Waiting.
Is, I mean, you cannot even open the social district until you've filed all of these things with the liquor commission.
Correct.
Like, you have to have the management plan spelled out. So it could be that it may be voted, and we may take a year before we can actually do anything to
Yep.
get it go off the ground. I also wanted to make, the police chief has been involved in this process. I know you'd asked that question. The police chief has been involved. He has not raised any concerns right now. However, as we go through the process and establish the regulations, there could be concerns that he might raise that would have to be addressed. I just looked up, New Hampshire is the 9th state to start social districts, and there's no data right now, even in those other states that you can actually refer to, because it's new for them as well. And then I just wanted to add one more thing on expense. We would have to pay for signage. We would have to pay for signage, and if there's any need for any garbage barrels, but garbage barrels are out in the downtown area
Yeah.
in multiple places, and they are taken in the winter. That would have to be something we have to decide if those would stay out.
Or if the social district.
Or if the
is active.
social district is only from X date to
Right.
Y.
Yeah, you go.
Right, so.
Or do we even have our own ordinance that requires a business to have a refuse container
Correct.
outside of their business as well, so it's not all on the town to take care of that?
Correct.
Scott, you had a comment?
I was just gonna say, I believe it's the intent of the board to, this wouldn't be a 24/7, free-for-all.
Yeah,
It's,
right.
I think our mindset was, if we have special events, a couple events throughout the summer, then we're allowed to have, like when we, at fireworks, for example, we closed the strip down already, then now we can allow vendors to come in and,
Have food trucks in
sell,
for the
have food
fireworks.
trucks or sell alcohol. They can partake in that. It just adds to the mix.
The
So-
biggest, from what I see, is that the biggest benefactors are gonna be immediately are those local businesses in the downtown area, and possibly at the lake, whatever the board or committee decides to do. That when those businesses get so busy in the summer that people walk in and there's so many people, they turn around and walk back out, it's gonna allow those folks to go out and enjoy a beer and sit on the bench in the common, rather than stay in a crowded restaurant. 'Cause I can speak to all three of those businesses in the downtown area, and as well as I speak to the Big Catch. You go in there and you can barely stand in there on a Saturday night, but somebody can walk across the street and sit on the beach and enjoy a beverage, rather than sit at a table in a crowded restaurant. That is the intent of this. It's not to encourage alcoholism or anything like that. In my personal experience, having spent time in other states, Florida in particular, where if you haven't finished your beverage and you want to go outside and go watch the waves crash on the beach, you walk up to the door, you pour your beverage in a cup, and you go about your business. So, but as far as any other state laws regarding, the sale or distribution of alcohol, all of that is still intact and has to be followed by the state. I mean, that's, I don't want it to seem like we're trying to create a free-for-all zone. It's not gonna be, Amsterdam downtown, so,
Well, under the law, it couldn't be a free-for-all anyway.
yeah.
But, and also the social districts are not temporary. It's not like you can say, it wasn't the impression I had that you can say, well, it's the 4th of July, so now we're gonna have a social district at the bottom of the lake or
Yeah.
whatever, because a social district, but both the delineation of where it is and the days and hours has to be sent to the liquor commission.
Correct.
So,
I
they
would-
will have it on record.
I can't tell you for sure, but my assumption is this is probably gonna be like, it's gonna be a good weather thing, so it's probably gonna be like a Memorial Day to Columbus Day kind of thing, or, something like that, or maybe a May 1st to November 1st. But, certainly not, like we were saying, this time of year, we don't even have waste containers out, we don't do trash collection around town this time of year, so it wouldn't work this time of year unless there was some kind of special exception that was made, and things were put in place to take care of those issues.
I just want to be clear, I'm not opposed to social districts. I
Yeah.
think it's a great idea for Concord, and Concord has a kind of layout and a flow that makes it appropriate. I don't think Bristol has that kind of infrastructure.
It's different, yeah.
It's definitely different, and clearly you need to vote your conscience when it's time to vote, but at the end of the day, I think, I'll speak for me specifically. I'm looking at this and saying, the reason why I support making sure that it's out on the ballot right now is to give us the opportunity to work on the business community and go, okay, what are some things that make sense? Is the town willing to say, okay, we will establish a social district, but then we still, to the point that you just made, we still have to work out all of the details, but we can't go through that process until the town says we're either open to it or we're not. Because if we're not, then there's no need to waste anybody's time, no need to waste the police chief's time or anybody's time trying to figure any of that out. Right, so step one is get the town to understand, all right, we want to go work on this. If the answer is yes, then we establish the right folks, and we start to go figure out the process, we file all the paperwork, as Christina said, it could take us a while to do that. You know, but when you look at the economy here for this community, right, and we're trying to figure out how do we work on housing and all these other pieces, you talk about some of the priorities that we have. A lot of that is gonna be based specifically in what is our business climate. So for us, it's like that balancing act of how do you work on things that also help the business climate, which then has the carry-on effect. If that makes sense, hopefully.
I think the social district might be appropriate in a future year when Bristol has some infrastructure, you know, more permanent benches, the garbage cans, like other towns have. But this year in Bristol, I don't think Bristol's set up for this, and I think it will be a waste of select board time to work on this.
Well, I think that's our prerogative to decide that.
Listen, I appreciate hearing the different perspective, right, at the end of the day. One of the best things is that we make sure that we're all having a conversation, oh, hey, here's the things that I'm thinking about, right? Because maybe you pick up on something that we missed. But again, right now, I think we're literally at the stage of, is the community opening to having a social district, yes or no? And if the answer is yes, then we work on all of those details. If the answer is no, then we don't work on those details. But again, I think that's personal opinion for me, is it hampers the business community around how we get them to maybe operate together. And then to the point that the guys made about all the different events that we can try to work on, in particular, like when we have the fireworks for the lake, right? There's other opportunities that allow us to bring in revenue. So that's what
And just to be clear, this isn't just this board saying, hey, look what we can do now, we should put this on the ballot. This is there's a lot of public input and a lot of public interest in favor of this that is looking forward to this on the ballot. So it's you know, we're not, this isn't our opinion or our prerogative, this is us trying to represent the voters and you as well, and that's why I appreciate you bringing in your concerns.
I wanted to be able to read the law because I think a lot of people, I mean, at first impression, I was, sure, what's the problem? And then like I said, I went and looked at the law, and it just seems, I don't think people really I don't think the mass of Bristol voters understand, and I'm not aware that there's been any kind of an educational effort on the part of the town to educate people about the law and what does this mean, the social district. It's not like you're going to go downtown and be able, like I said, bring a six-pack or a bottle
And
of wine.
don't take this the wrong way, and with all due respect, it's the responsibility of every individual voter to do their own research, and that law is readily available for everyone to read, just like you have. It's no different than voting for a candidate, and if I was running against Christina in an election, you could lose. I'd lose for one thing, but you'd want to do your research on Christina, and you'd want to do your research on me to find out what exactly you're voting for. Unfortunately, we all know that's not the case, and that's. I'm not trying to be disrespectful by not allowing you to read that. I'm just saying it is out there for anyone to look up on Google, or we will certainly make it available on the town website and even the Facebook page, Kate, and put out any information and if you think there's applicable information that you don't see out there, please let us know. You can contact us through the town website and say, hey, I think maybe this should be on there. I can't guarantee it's gonna.
Right.
But if it is something relevant, we'll certainly, if we don't have it there, then we'll certainly put it up there for you.
And you'll certainly have the opportunity to speak at town meeting.
Yeah, that's very.
Oh, well, no, it's on the ballot, right?
Yeah, it's on the
No,
ballot.
no, it's a ballot vote at
has to be
town
ballot
meeting.
vote.
That's right, ballot vote of it.
So it is gonna be a ballot
Yeah.
vote at town meeting, it
Yeah.
has to be, but,
God willing, I'm planning to be there.
We know you will.
We have set up a website page, on our town website, there's a page. We haven't put this information totally out there because we're working on a voter's guide, and wanted to make sure that what you wanted me to put out, as well. So we'll make sure we add stuff, so.
And I imagine we should have some of that information available at town meeting as well,
Yes.
so.
Well, if I get the voter's guide done, that will be at town.
And really, at the end of the day, this is more of a informational thing to, somebody might come in and say something that, oh, maybe we shouldn't have that on the ballot, and I don't even know if we can pull it off the ballot at this point in time, if we wanted to.
No, you can skip it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Table it,
But
you
at
can't
the
take it
end of the
off.
day, I mean, it's always been kind of the spirit of the, I think I speak for the board and the spirit of these kind of things that, these are the kind of things we want to bring forth to the voters, and we don't want to decide this, we want the vote, we want the body to decide. I mean, that's why, I mean, town meeting is the greatest form of democracy you'll ever see. I mean, everybody has all 3,000 something residents have their opportunity to come to town meeting and, you know, say their piece and debate this and have a vote and how this town runs. I know you've been there, but unfortunately, it's only about 150 people there, but hopefully we'll get a better turnout this year, you know, so. Anybody else like to speak on the hearing?
Well, if you want to comment on that, I suppose it seems to make sense to me. I'm not real familiar with it, but I know in the summer, at least, there's way more customers than there are places for them to go.
Yep.
So I think at least exploring, which is all you're really doing at this point,
Yeah.
and that option
Yeah.
seems to make sense. And as far as the infrastructure goes, I think that's a chicken or an egg thing.
Yep.
You know, I think it'll evolve into that. You know, I'm sure there'll be problems, but.
There's growing pains with everything.
Yeah, right.
I'm sorry, we didn't have the two gentlemen that spoke, can they say their names for the minutes, for the minute taker who, she
Yes.
listens
I'm
to
sorry.
this after,
Yeah,
so.
I'm sorry, I didn't say my name. Michael Gurecki on Holiday Hills, 89 Holiday Hills.
Brett Dunn, 1222
I
Peter.
think Brett actually did.
Yeah, I didn't know if you did or not, sorry, Brett.
He did, it was
Thank you.
very quiet
Okay.
though.
Unless there's any other comments on the hearing itself, I will go ahead and close the hearing.
6:41.
It's 6:41. Elections and town meeting prep, part one.
Yeah.
There's 2 parts.
Yeah, you'll do your other stuff at the next meeting, like who, we usually decide who does what. So this, let's start with elections. Under number 5A in your folders, there's like a little bullet list of election stuff. I went back through the last couple of election closeouts. Granted, we are holding elections at a new place for anybody who's listening. It's at the New Farm Regional High School on Tuesday, March 10th, and it'll be from 8, I don't know why that says 2 p.m. Ignore that on your doc.
Says 7 p.m.
Mine says 2.
It says 8 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird? Mine says 2. Look. There's something going on with this computer. I can't print.
Oh, it does.
It does,
Just says
see?
2 in the top line, it's 7 down there.
Okay.
It's just 3 down.
Sorry, so it's 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. and it's New Farm Regional High School, Tuesday, March 10th. We will be in the gymnasium, so arrival times for we are gonna be setting up on Monday. They have early release, so we were able to get in there to set up the voting booths, and the lines for the voting, etc. Highway, school staff is actually gonna be putting out the cover on the floor. The highway department and town clerk tax collector's office will be setting up the rest. The only thing we won't be able to set up at Monday is the electronic, the handicap assistance. We won't be able to do that. There is a group of children that will be in the gymnasium on a separate part of the gymnasium on Monday night. So we're not gonna set up anything that's electronic, but we will go in on Tuesday morning. So for finalizing setup, that's at 6:30 a.m. None of you have to be there that early. Select board ballot clerks
Good, 'cause I wasn't gonna.
and supervisors, we're at, Cheryl, I asked Cheryl what time for you, she said 7:30 would be good, if you could. Food, Cheryl's getting breakfast, lunch, everybody's bringing their own lunch. Dinner, pizza, do you want the town to do that instead?
Yeah.
Because we did do it last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be that.
Okay, well, so my next one was a question mark, and I only put it out there because
From
it is the high school, and people used to be able to walk here to go to voting. If there's any, do we want to offer a shuttle service from here to the high school? I'm hoping you say no, but I'm just making sure.
I guess I'm not
People that would normally walk.
would normally walk to
Okay.
the historic
Yeah,
town
like if you live on
hall,
South Main Street. you can
Oh,
just walk.
yeah.
or can't get a ride, or, I don't know. Most of them can get an absentee ballot if you can't make it, and they should be doing that through the town clerk's office. But I wanted to put this out here
If we
before we
open
get
our,
any closer, so, go ahead.
unless you contract with a company to
Yeah.
do it.
Otherwise-
I think there's a liability, too much of a
Yeah.
liability.
And
to
I'm
say,
the
"Oh,
same,
you've
I'm
rented
the
a
same as a
town
golf
car."
cart ride from here to there.
Well, we were driving the town car before, but it's not, it's a former police vehicle, so it doesn't have a seat in the back. So you're sitting behind cage, so, but,
I know, in other communities and in the past, even in this community, there have been community organizations out there, if anyone's listening, that have said, hey, if anybody needs a ride to the polls, we'll come pick you up, so.
Yeah,
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 that would be
legal
great. if there
voters,
were-
things like that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wi-Fi is all set, we're having the supervisors go in on Monday because our concern is the public Wi-Fi at the school isn't always a great,
It's non-existent.
yeah.
Let's call a
So-
spade a spade.
So I've talked to them about that, and they're supposed to, I'm supposed to have supervisors meet somebody at 1 o'clock on Monday there, so. Police coverage,
Yes,
all day,
yes.
Yes.
1,
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah, that's all you
We are gonna put signage at the historic town hall here and at the high school. Signage is pretty much just to tell people who might show up here, voting is at the high school if they don't know that. And then we will have signage at the high school to direct people where the voting access is. Parking, the teachers are in service that day. No school, but the teachers are there, so the first parking lot will be teachers. The second parking lot over will be election workers and voters. So we are gonna make sure that there's signage directing people that way. And
Which
we'll
one's the
be-
first
and-
and which one's the
need.
second?
Yeah,
So as you pull into the parking lot, the
From
first
which-
one.
From which way?
There's only one entrance.
I'm gonna make a
Yeah,
There's
map.
only
You're
one
not
entrance.
This is something that you guys can.
I'm
work
gonna
on.
make a
you're not
map.
supposed to come in from the other side.
You're not
Big
supposed to come
sign.
from the other side anymore.
There's
I
do
think
not
they changed
enters
it to
at
one
those two.
way.
Yeah.
So there.
No through traffic.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do a map, but anything else?
Sure, everybody can figure it
For
out.
From
elections.
104, how's that?
Is it possible to ask the school if the teachers can park like by the softball field or in the honors parking lot?
They chose this parking lot.
They did,
Yeah.
okay.
And part of, it does make sense because your entrance to the gymnasium, your main
It's on that
entrance is
side.
That's
here,
true,
your
it's on
entrance to the gymnasium is over here, and that's where people will park, so.
Maybe we ask the election voters, or the election workers to
To
park in
park.
front by the softball.
Both softball, there you
Yeah.
go, problem solved, parking's all set.
Okay, anything else on elections? I think we're pretty much covered it.
Clarification, he's on the ballot
I will not be there.
and I'm on the ballot.
You're on the ballot for.
You can be there, you just can't touch ballots, and you
Yeah,
can't
you can
be,
be there, you just can't touch anything.
Okay.
so,
You
you
can't-
Touch any
can't
Can't be
count.
behind the line, basically.
So you could run and pick pizza up,
Sure,
you
okay.
know.
I'll
you
be your
could-
errand boy, how's that?
Yeah.
When I need coffee,
Exactly.
You could, yeah, I think you could probably help direct people
Yeah,
to, you
Yeah.
just can't electioneer,
right.
and you can't touch the ballots. So-
I'll sit
And you
out,
can't
I'll
be
sit
in a
out in the
ballot
parking lot in a lawn chair, and my coffee.
you're not gonna stand out in front of the door with a sign.
Uncontested.
Oh, and probably Ned needs to define where that is.
Yeah,
We'll
well,
have to ask
Yeah,
him.
where the area.
That's fine, that's something we can do that one.
Okay, town meeting Saturday, March 14th is also at the high school, beginning at 9 AM, and it's at the auditorium, which is the opposite entrance this time. We are working on getting Kate set up with an IT consult. They've done some they're telling me they did the renovations before town meeting last year. I said, no, you didn't, because it was the old, this is much nicer auditorium now, so. Arrival times, finalizing for setup, I believe we can't set up on Friday, so Kate and I might be there at 7:30, depending on what he has to set up for his equipment, 7:30, 8 o'clock. but you guys wouldn't have to be there till 8:30, 8:45. Food, is there any thoughts? We're not gonna probably get anybody to sell food there. I'm gonna say probably nobody.
It hasn't worked out for
Yeah.
them.
No.
Police coverage. The police chief will be there for, I believe, department heads are all there anyway, but if he's not, you wanna make sure you have police coverage.
Yes.
And then signage.
And someone who could actually speak, preferably someone who could
Yeah,
speak to
I
something.
think he will be there, correct. Slideshow, what type of slideshow do you want for the beginning of the meeting, or what are your thoughts?
Good one.
Are you saying that they haven't been good that I've done already?
You're asking us, for input on stuff that you're good at and we're not, so.
All right, good. On the regular slideshow, warrant articles, what else do you want with the warrant articles?
Well,
Yeah.
right, like that's the whole thing we talked about, like we can get a copy of the budget. I wanna do one slide that sort of tries to summarize it, so we can actually break it out by department, because you can, almost a nice straight line you can get from the total to what the average person pays.
But you have to work with Paul on that, because
Yep,
he actually presents it.
yeah, 100%, no, I understand, hey.
Yeah, and to, just in the spirit of tonight's discussion, information on the social district question.
Put some more, yeah. right.
Maybe not even necessarily so much for the slideshow as if we could have some type of brochure available to explain it. I don't know.
I have every intention to get a voter's guide done on all of the articles.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is I guess, at least my thought is, yeah, we'll have a voter's guide, that way it's about education, right? I mean, even the thing of Joanne and Steve, you know, they did their video on the zoning stuff, right? You know, maybe we have one slide on the social districts, and literally just a few bullet points from us. And
Yes.
in summary tonight of like, okay, it's step one, but there's still these things coming, right? Like, that way we delineate for people. It's not like you're deciding all of the parameters of that today. This is
You're
whether
cheating.
you're okay with us going after this.
You're cheating, you were looking at the list.
I wasn't.
And
It
that's,
says bulleted list.
Yeah.
Oh, all right,
And
sorry.
then I thought a
It's-
draft map maybe.
I may have presented one of them.
and that's one of those, I mean, and at the end of the day, we're gonna be explaining each warrant article as they're presented.
Right.
Yep.
And that's one that, you know, that's gonna have some Q and A involved.
Yeah.
There are
So-
going to be 2 good videos attached to this site as well. One from Ben. Ben's done one on one of the articles. And
Yeah.
then Joanne and
Like an
Steve's.
interview video?
No,
No, he did he did a video on the warrant article
Oh, yeah.
on the,
On the
Adventist
balance for
Reserve.
all that. Yeah.
so we, that'll be linked up here by tomorrow.
They're on there.
Oh, okay.
It's not
Yeah, well,
embedded, but there's YouTube.
Article for a Keurig to put in there.
All right. So, just for anybody who's listening to, there is, we won't say who, but there is a town report dedication ceremony at the next select board meeting. Anybody's welcome to come to that. Do you-
32.
What?
32?
I thought the answer was 42.
32.
Oh, because I'm glad you said that. Thank you.
Neither one of us can count.
Perfect. I can't tell anybody what that's about until town meeting. It's a surprise. So last year, there was something provided to the town report dedication. That was a gift from the Bristol botanist. Do we want to do the same thing?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so.
And then, special recognition. Can you read that? I don't want to, I feel we should do that.
Yeah.
And it's hard to say, but it's a surprise because I don't want this person to hear this. And so I feel we should do that, and I wondered if you agreed with that.
Yes.
I agree with that.
The other thing is, that plus years.
Yes.
That's what I was just talking about.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
just told me. Yep,
No,
okay.
no, not like the total.
Yeah,
Yeah, Kevin McHale, 32.
Yeah, there you go.
And then the swearing in for all newly appointed or elected usually happens at the end of the meeting. So,
Yeah.
other than that, anything
Ooh.
else for town meeting?
That's gonna be my 1 year mark.
Yeah.
Seems like it's
been
been
very
10.
painful.
Oh, no, cut me in half, count the rings.
It's been very painful.
Yes, it has.
Anything else for town meeting? You good? Okay.
We beat that to death.
County machine approval letter. I need you to, so the new machine that we've received requires a letter of approval to use. We could not find an actual vote in the minutes, so they've allowed, Cheryl drew up a letter. Cheryl drew up a letter. If the board could vote and sign tonight, then we can send it to the Secretary of State's office to be ready to go for elections. That's the letter, if you wanna,
What numbers of the letter under?
The next one down.
next one down,
5C.
Oh, I found it, no.
5C, yeah.
Yeah. That's not much of a letter.
Yeah, they didn't,
Do we
actually,
take a
they
vote on
gave
it?
us the
That's
wording,
different.
so,
That's different.
Yeah. You said we needed to take a vote on it, or?
yeah, you
Somebody
do.
want to move it?
All right, since it's in my hand. I will make a motion that the town of Bristol will be using the state-approved ImageCast Precinct 2 per 656:40 adoption RSA. We took delivery of the ballot counting machine on January 11th, 2026. The town will be using the state credit for the machine. We only have one ballot counting machine for the entire town.
Second.
All right. Motion by Don, second by Scott. Motion by Milbrand, second by Legue.
There you go.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Alright.
Oh, we would like.
Going off the rails. TA report.
If you want to look at TA report info only folder first, see if there's anything that you can look at the printout, it's up to date. It's the Word document if you want. I can't open mine. Those items are just to make sure that you know what's going on. If there's anything specific that you want to have questions on, they're in the folder. And I guess there is one that I think would be nice to point out. People who, 70 Merrimack Street that the town sold last year and 85 Lake Street that the town sold last year are both going to be on the tax warrant this year and receiving tax bills. So.
Okay, very cool.
We need to sign, I didn't come in to sign the MS 737.
You didn't have to.
Oh, okay.
No, it's just the budget committee.
Oh, that's right.
So
I always get that
The
wrong.
budget committee
I
signed.
always do that wrong, never mind.
It's been posted here, we just posted it at the high school because you have to post it at your polling place.
Yeah.
So it went out to be posted today, and then it's posted with the Department of Revenue.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I always forget that it's the budget committee that signs that. You think after,
Just making sure I'm not on the delinquent tax list.
you think after 14 years of doing this, you'd know better. you know?
All right, I can go to.
Okay, so, anybody have any questions on the info only section?
No.
Alright.
Discussion items. The first one is we received kudos from, for land use and transfer station, which I thought would be good to share. And actually, I think it came in one of the meetings.
Conservation Commission.
Yeah. So, one of the members of the Conservation Commission, Richard Metcalf, submitted these comments. The land use team was applauded for all the systems and application deadlines established that allow for preliminary comment by the Conservation Commission before planning board review and decision. They have done a lot of trying to make sure wetlands permits are handled appropriately, and the Conservation Commission has time to get comments back. So And then the transfer station is applauded for all the systems and assistance now provided to townspeople. So Mr. Legoo was gonna pass it along to the transfer station attendants, but I can also share these
Yep.
feedback, so. Going back to my report, sorry. Number 2, Buzz and I met with Tia from the Army Corps this week. We reviewed the proposed challenge partnership, which was presented, we presented it to, Army Corps gave it to us, we went back to them negotiating, and they've come back to us negotiating again. We are down to only a few minor items over the agreement, and we're working to set up a meeting between Buzz and the Army Corps Council member to finalize. So we feel we're really close to having a final challenge partnership agreement for construction to present to the board, and that will be, that's the, whatever we're gonna call it, the PEMI path. So, we are getting very close, so, to the final challenge agreement. Number 3, Saturday, March 7th at 11 a.m., the group along with the PEMI Path group along with the Pasquaney Snowshoe Club will be hosting a guided snowshoe hike. Participants will meet at Bristol Falls Park off Central Street. The hike is a wooded 4-mile round trip along the Pemigewasset River, primarily on the old Braille bed. There will be cars offering return shuttle from Profile Falls for those who wish to do a one-way trip only hike. So everybody's welcome to attend. A reminder I don't think that you two can do it though. The training, you said you were gonna go to the training, I don't think you should.
Okay.
Because you can't touch the ballot machine and you can't touch the ballots. If you wanted to go watch, that's your choice, but you can't do the machine.
Show us how to do it after.
Right.
Done.
So the county machine training is February 25th at 11 a.m. for the select board moderator and town clerk's office. They will be here in this meeting room. I did send you all invites, so if hopefully.
That's next Wednesday, right?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna try to be here.
Yep. Because the concern is somebody needs to know how to run it in case Ned has to step away.
Yep.
So, emergency exit at the library, we finally addressed it. We're not using the side entrance any longer. The old front entrance is the new emergency exit for the meeting space. They've cleaned the storage space out. We've gotten the exit sign installed. And so you will no longer see that side entrance being shoveled during the winter. And it will no longer be used as emergency exit. Okay. I'm throwing you under the bus on the next one, sorry. Franchise fee. We have received the franchise fee. It is lower. There's a document in there that shows how they calculated it.
Yeah, so can I send them questions?
We estimated 50,000 and we got 43,204. And that was booked in 2025's revenues. So they did provide the payment detail. Here's my question. We haven't renewed the franchise agreement. I've contacted Breezeline, and we've contacted Breezeline, and they want to renew it. So we've had it reviewed by the attorney, and we've had some questions from John. I would like to, if the rest of the board agrees, meet with John to finalize it, meet with Breezeline and John to finalize the franchise agreement and get the actual agreement before the board and ready to go. If you're okay with that. I'm throwing him
I
under
don't
the
think
bus.
anybody else wants to be there.
So, I mean, so here's what it comes down to, like, for me, so like, why, so we have the questions about the infrastructure, when you look at the breakdown of this, the things that come up, so they got $3,598 in wire maintenance. So from a capital perspective, what's their plan? Because that's not a lot of money. And then how many users make up this $864,000? Like, what's that number? Just so we can kind of figure, because we're getting 5% of what that total is, and that's basically revenues and how they broke them out. But at $3,500, they're not going to be replacing a lot of repeaters or things on poles in town. Now, that doesn't mean that folks don't have other options, because we have Hub 66 that's done a lot of things. I mean, there's other ways to get to the internet in some of these pieces, but anyways.
So if John's willing and you guys are
Yeah.
okay, Okay. I did want to update the concern about the advertising flags.
Yeah,
I did bring it to the land use manager's attention. What we're waiting on, because it provides more clear definitions and regulations on signage, is the zoning amendment. It will be enforced either way, but I think the clearer definitions give them a little bit more when they go to do the enforcement. So. Short-term rental update. Joanne has put together a packet based upon the recommendations of the town's attorney, which is based on Conway.
Nice.
I would like to push this out to the first meeting in April with the new board, which will give us a little more time to review what she's got together, her and I. So I just wanted you to know that. Energy Committee. In your folders under TA9 is a memo and an email from Paul Bemis, the Energy Committee Chair. He had asked to be for 5 minutes tonight, so I said I could do it under the TA report. So if you're okay, I'd like to turn that over to him.
Very good with that.
You okay?
Yeah.
So this is a letter that towns are signing to allow for support of Senate Bill 538. So Senate Bill 538 is coming out of New Hampshire Senate and is focused on solar net metering. And the basic point is to extend solar net metering for 20 years. This allows investments that have been made in community solar or large-scale solar to be amortized over that period of time and to be assured that net metering will still be in effect. This all came because originally, before COVID, they did some changes to the law and there is a 40-year limit on it that will cause it to end without statutory control. This bill corrects that and allows net metering to continue to exist for another 20 years. So investments today will still be secure. And the letter simply states that the Select Board of Bristol support that bill, SB 538. Over 50 towns have signed up for this already, have written a letter, and there's no implication to us in terms of any kind of liability or tax or cost. It's just a way to show our support for solar net metering, specific to solar. We already have this in effect at our wastewater treatment facility, and we also have this in effect at the Poverty Plains metering, net metering, group net metering site that we're participants in. So it is in our best interest to support it from that point of view. So that's all it is, just a letter.
If the bill doesn't pass, what happens? Yes, sir.
Well, it has the potential to expire, you know, that net metering could expire, and that's going to reduce the potential for investment because you build your investment plan based on some kind of revenue projection over a period of time.
How is it determined now?
Well, right now, it is determined by assuming that it's going to be in place. This would extend the length of time, that's all. So it would extend it another 20 years.
It looks like it would expire in 2040.
No, well, is net metering going to expire next year if we don't do this, or what's?
No, not next year,
Or
2040.
is it just a year-to-year thing that?
This would extend it to 2046 if it passes, if I understand correctly.
Okay, so when does it run out?
2040.
2040,
Okay, so essentially it extends it for 6 years, not for
Yeah.
20.
right.
It's 20 out from today.
20 out from 2026.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Oh, there I saw, yeah, that it's, sorry, I missed that. It's guaranteed through 2040 now.
yeah.
So you made a comment about 50 communities supporting it.
Yeah.
Where would I find that?
You didn't. I was in a webinar today at noon, and that's what was reported. So I sat in on some more information about this today at noon, and that was a statement that was made at noon.
Is it, so I guess, the question I have on this is it within the purview of the town to support or not support a Senate bill or House bill or anything?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Not unusual or unreasonable.
We've done it in the past. I testified
Yeah.
when I was in assessing land
Okay.
use.
Yeah, no, I was just curious, and
And I hated it.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve a support letter.
Do you want to give me permission to sign it for you?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. With permission to sign.
I'll second.
so I have a motion by Sean, second by Dawn, to draft a letter in support of Senate Bill, in support, correct?
Yeah.
Right. Support of Senate Bill 538. Authorizing the town administrator to sign said letter. Discussion. Any? I don't feel like I know enough about this to even vote one way or the other, to be honest with you.
Kind of feels that way.
Yeah. Any other discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I'm going to abstain.
Was that 4-0?
401.
Thank you.
So I'll
Thank you,
prepare
Paul.
this on letterhead and get it ready. Do you want me to just
So,
send it?
Paul, while you're here,
Can
this,
I just want to ask a question on this before you go on? if
Yep.
That's okay. Do you want me to send this direct to them, or for you, and take care of it, or do you want it back to you, so I know what I'm doing?
If you could send it and CC me, that would be
Okay,
fine.
perfect. Thank you, sorry, Mr. Chair.
so I saw this today. First of all, great.
I didn't
Very
see
good
it.
information and everything.
I didn't see it, Rob, what is it?
Oh,
Is it about
it's you.
CPACE in the
Yeah.
Colonial.
Right.
No.
The editorial.
It's great information.
Mhm.
I read through it and everything.
Good.
We weren't aware it was being put out there. So just in the future, please at least let Christina know that it's gonna be
Okay,
coming out.
sure.
Because it's kind of vague, like it says that you're the chair of the energy committee. And it says it's, in conjunction with community power. So it's kind of like a gray area that is it your opinion, or is this the town of Bristol putting it out? So I think that in the future, just at least run it by us and say, hey, I'm gonna put this in the paper, and I don't think anybody would have had a problem with that whatsoever.
Okay, that's fair comment.
Yeah.
It was the same article, I believe, that was in the Bristol Buzz. Is that?
I haven't seen that article, so I don't know.
So,
Okay,
I
I'm just-
haven't seen it either. Rob.
Yeah, so partly, please don't take it as a negative thing. I just happened to ask Christina about it. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, I didn't either. So there was another member it was Nick. Nick's on my energy committee,
Oh, yeah.
and it
Nick
came up
Osmond, yeah.
because I asked him to try to publish a couple different places. So comments well taken. I can come back.
Yeah,
on
but
it.
it just goes back to, it just goes back to whether, and
Thank you.
sometimes we don't have any issue with it, sometimes we would have an issue with it, but the policy should be across the board. On whether you're representing the town or you're representing,
It's more the way that, like, it's kind of like, it's almost like that's a featured editorial. Because if it was one of the other ones on the other side, and it was, written as Paul Bemis, citizen of Bristol, well, great, that's,
No, I understand your
Yeah.
question. Yeah, I get it.
That just looks like it's officially, kind of looks like it's officially endorsed by the town, which, that's basically our standpoint on it.
I was just gonna say that, we did talk about making sure we support that. I think
Yes.
the ultimate point is really around, regardless of the publication we're gonna go into, we just wanna make sure there's at least a notification, hey,
Get it.
we're going here and here and here.
Yeah.
And we all go, yeah, that makes sense.
Get it.
Town administrators, anyways.
Christina?
I kind of want to clarify what John was saying. We, not that you didn't support CPACER itself, but you agreed to support putting it on the warrant.
Yes.
I don't know if you all came out with a decision to support it or not individually, but
Yeah.
you put it on the warrant so the voters could make a decision.
Right.
so.
Yeah.
Yep, and this question of advocacy versus position of the town, I think is a fair one. We have to be careful with that. What we do with articles generally is I run them through her and she has them, you know, you would have the board look at it if you think there's anything in it. We should have done that here. This got a little away from me. Nick did this. He did pop up and say, you know, we've got an opportunity, and I went, seems reasonable, so I should have caught it. But,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
At the end of the day, everybody's rowing for the same point.
sure.
Yeah. Thank you.
I look young in that picture, too.
Looking good, buddy.
It's funny we use these old pictures.
Yeah, you can keep that.
Amazing what AI will do to your photo.
It's a dating profile.
It's a dating profile. I'm sure Karen would love to hear that.
Yeah.
Right now, he's gonna get home, she's gonna be like, come here.
Any other questions about net metering? Do you want any detail about it, or what it is? I think you...
No.
I've had my stomach full of net metering.
Yeah, anybody here?
Biomass.
Questions about net metering?
Okay.
I have enough of solar panels at the deliberative session, so.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
See you, thanks, Paul. See ya. What else you got?
Number 10 is Commons Code. There's a PowerPoint presentation and notes from the Conservation Commission meeting in the folder under number 10. The gist is there's a group that spent time hiring an engineer working with NLRA and New Hampshire DES regarding concerns on the loss of the beach and the impacts to wildlife and water activities, including swimming and so on, for the Pikes Point residents. They are looking into solutions such as dredging, funding sources, and they are asking for support from the town. This was what was in the minutes, Sean, to maintain drainage systems and manage steep slopes and wetlands ordinances. They are asking if Bristol will engage in the process of dealing with the state to improve the cove. I put this stuff in your folders. I'm going to email it to you because I don't think that you're going to have a decision tonight. This is the first time you're seeing this. I think would ask that you could review and maybe we can discuss at the next meeting. I did ask the group to come in and they didn't, after their presentation, Conservation Commission and the time they've spent, they didn't, they felt it would be too costly for them to come in to present again to the select board, so. But Sean did attend the Conservation Commission meeting.
Yeah, they were at weren't they previously at here?
Not with me.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, the concern is the filling of that cove over the years. Mainly, I think it's Hemlock Brook
Yeah, it's
that dumps in there.
Hemlock Brook does dump in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you see it every summer when the hill starts to melt. Sorry, every spring when the hill starts to melt, you see dirt and everything come out on the ice before the ice breaks up. So it shows you what's happened over time, and you know. Anecdotally, people were talking about, you know, they used to be able to get a boat, you know, everywhere in that cove, and now you can't. And so, really, I really don't know what they expect from us. At the Conservation Commission, we talked about supporting zoning language that would increase buffers on brooks, increase the requirements for crossing the brooks. There's a couple of culverts on Hemlock Brook uphill of that constrict the flow and I would say wash out pretty frequently. They're just not big enough. So really they should probably take that to the planning board.
Yeah.
At the Conservation Commission, we talked about that and just having an education around, you know, what happens with residential development, you know, on the upper slopes, on some highly erodible soils, and how that affects the water quality there in the cove. They're getting allergy. They're getting blooms there in the summertime, algae blooms, and
Yeah.
it's just, it's a much different condition that used to be there. I mean, the only real solution is dredging. No one wants to, no one wants to talk about it, 'cause it's a lot of money, but really that's, anything that can be
Streams
done.
carry silt into the lake.
Right, anything that can be done
Continuously.
upstream will protect future.
Yeah.
But in the end,
No matter what.
I'm not sure exactly what we can do for them except encourage the education on, continue to encourage the education on, building on the upper slopes and making sure everything is appropriately engineered. And, if you can do a bridge instead of a culvert, do a bridge instead of a culvert, if you can. It's pretty easy these days with waste blocks and bridge panels. But yeah, so that's what they were talking about.
There is a couple of steps that were in the Conservation Commission meeting, like maintain road ditches and keep culverts clear of debris, clearing and development, on which that wouldn't fall under select board, but
Right.
some of this would be something that should have been brought to the planning board.
Right.
But some of it would be, what's weird is the email says, our direct question to the town of Bristol is simple. Will the town of Bristol engage in the process of dealing with the state to improve the code? I'm not sure
We would
what they
be
want us to
happy to
engage in.
recommend they do
Yeah.
a wetlands permit for dredging, but, yeah, I'm not.
The minutes don't say anything don't say what exactly they're looking for. It's the email that came asking me to talk to the board. So.
Right.
I can go back to her and clarify exactly what she's looking for,
Yeah.
but I wanted to make sure you had these
Okay.
materials.
It seems like something that LRA should be involved in.
They are too.
They are, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, they were here, they had an engineer that looked at how much it had filled in.
Yeah.
And LRA was here, and yeah, we're all working together to try to educate and get people to do
Yeah.
the appropriate steps upstream, but,
Yeah, just like what we did at Cummins, NLRA did at Cummins
Yeah.
Beach. They got grants and money to do that. Just
right.
Those kind of projects are what's probably.
But at the end of the day, I don't know if they're expecting the town to,
Right.
pay for a dredging of.
Or do you help them get through
No.
the application
I
process?
mean, we're happy to, write something in favor, but that's about all we can.
Well, that was my feeling, general support
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
project,
Yeah.
but if, I need to clarify exactly what
Yeah.
they're.
I don't see where the burden on the town would be to pay for that though.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course, that whole road was filled in, over, I'm sure, at some point,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah.
We could make a big arch bridge there.
There you
Yeah.
go.
And it would allow sediment to move through.
Okay, next, there's a letter in your folders under number 11, regarding the Willamette Road dumpster matter. And this is totally against it.
Yeah.
My concerns are I don't think we've talked about it enough to be ready to make that a decision. But I thought about bringing the parties back in, both sides,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
having a conversation. If there's any kind of easement or boundary line change, there's a whole step that you have to go
Yeah.
through, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
5 or 6 steps. We need to make sure that's what you're going for, but if you read this letter from this other person,
Which is excellent.
yeah, it is.
And just for the record, if I'm no longer on the board when that meeting takes place, I vehemently oppose allowing that on the end of Willamette Road.
Well, I was gonna say,
Because they can use the dump just like the rest of us do.
are you ready, I mean, most of you were here for that meeting.
Yep.
Are you ready to say no, or do you
Well, but
want
the
more
conversation led to an alternative,
Yeah,
Right.
which would not have it in the circle, would have it further up onto what's now town property, but it would be a swap, basically a boundary line agreement,
Yeah.
Right.
which
Right.
this person indicates for various reasons should not be allowed, but
So boundary, there are
But we're still,
two different
even,
things to be, so boundary line agreements are one thing, boundary line adjustments are another. So
Yeah,
boundary.
adjustment is what I
Yeah,
meant,
yeah.
sorry.
so even making that adjustment is still making a concession to some residents over others.
Yeah,
So it's still setting a precedent.
I get that.
Well, and this person did point out the environmental concerns to putting the dumpster even in that location,
Let's,
so.
I don't know, you call it, are we in?
I'm 100% opposed to it and have no problem saying no.
Okay. I was just
That's me though, that's not the.
Yeah, no,
four
I was
other
just
voices
looking
in
for
this
an
room.
alternative, I don't really have.
Yeah, I mean, I think if I remember correctly, that night, that's really what ended up being a little bit of problem solving, because I think
Yeah.
the place that they were originally trying to go to is where there's water runoff and drainage now, and we would kind of go like, well, these are some of the options.
I don't think it's
Yeah.
fair to make concessions for one group of residents when clearly there's a group of residents that are essentially abutters that already have an issue with it.
Have we taken, have any steps been taken? Okay.
No. I emailed both parties and just let them know I was gonna talk to the board again. I did get confirmation from the town's attorney, if you did a boundary line agreement, that would in essence say, you agree this is where the boundary would be. It's not saying you did a survey or swap anything, that you agree. I don't suggest that, obviously, but if you did a boundary line adjustment, then we have to go to the Conservation Commission, they have to vote on it.
Right.
And my suggestion would be a survey.
Yep,
Yeah,
They provide the survey if that.
yeah, they'd have to,
they'd have to provide.
Well, so, but I guess what I would say is,
The,
in light of, sorry, Rob.
No, go ahead.
In light of further discussion and noted objection, we will be taking a close look at how and if this proceeds.
Here's how I look at this. This is a benefit to a very small group of residents. If there was no detriment to anyone else, I would be willing to look into it further. However, there is detriment to other residents, and this is just one voice. And there's an easy solution to this, and that's take your trash to the dump like the rest of us.
It's fair.
Yeah, the dump's open 3 days a week. All the rest of us do it. Put trash in our car, drive to the dump. Say hi to the guys at the very friendly group of guys down there that are willing to help you take the trash out of your car. All covered by our taxes.
See previous memo about how good they are.
Yeah, sure.
Just saying.
Having your own dumpster is a convenience for
Yes.
you, so,
Right.
you know.
And if you, and great,
If it's gonna be a convenience to you, then you put it
if you
in
can
your own
afford
property.
that convenience and have that convenience and do it on your property, fantastic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is
So-
that the general consensus? Or is there more we want to do? I got 1, 2, 3 speaking.
Do we need to have them come in again or
I
not?
was gonna say, we may have to, because I think we left it where we felt like that was a reasonable way to try to solve the problem, but at the same time, there was still some other work to be done, right? So
Yeah.
I don't wanna leave, I don't wanna just leave.
Here's
it
the
hanging.
ultimate, tell them we'll talk to them after the election.
But, well, here's the
Well,
thing.
hold on a second, we're still here.
I know.
Here's the thing. If you were to go through the proper process for this, there's gonna be a public hearing.
100%.
We have to hold 2 public, so I, you do the Conservation Commission, they have to vote on it. Planning Board has to vote on it.
Yeah.
Then 2 public hearings of this, and those are the ones I have to have specific.
So if you wanna
With the
waste
time,
everybody's
so.
time and go through all that, be
Just
my
get
guest,
turned
but
down.
there's an easy solution to this, and the answer is no. I mean, seriously, things gonna be a little cut and dry here.
No, listen,
Yeah.
I'm good with it, I just,
I was gonna say, do you just wanna take a vote and see where you're at?
Yeah.
Tonight?
I'll make a motion that we don't allow the dumpster at the end of Willamette Road.
I hate negative motions.
Motion to deny, how's that, period?
Yes.
Okay, yeah,
Motion to deny the use of a dumpster at the end of Willamette Road
thank you, that's much
by
better.
Thomas Cottage Association.
I will second that one.
I will be the bad guy. So a motion by myself, a second by Dawn. Discussion.
I think we just did.
Yeah.
I don't know, I still feel like, I'm not saying I disagree with your ultimate sentiment, but I feel like we've now had two different conversations with two different perspectives at two completely different times.
But you didn't have a conversation with the second,
Well,
you're
that's
just
true.
reading it,
That's true.
which is true.
So
but-
anyways, it just feels disjointed to me, so I kinda wanna make sure that they get represented in that regard.
They can always appeal the decision.
That's all good.
I can take it up with the next.
Take it up with the next board.
Okay, back
Back
We're
to
still
that.
here.
I'm looking out for the town, not,
100%, no, yeah, I don't think you're.
No one assigns any,
yeah.
any,
They're very nice people.
Malice.
I feel bad
yeah,
not being able to help out, but at the end of the day, it doesn't work for everyone.
It's
not
true,
even
but I guess,
benefits.
the only point that I'm making is, we had one conversation, and then we have one letter in, it's very segmented, I kinda wanna,
You wanna
either tell them to go through the process or not, so anyways.
Would you feel better if we brought them back in and see if they had a change in plans?
Well, or just sort of an understanding that would, whatever.
This is
I'm
why
good.
government gets nothing done.
Right.
call
Yes
it.
or no?
Go ahead, call your vote.
All those in favor
Aye.
of denying the
Deny.
dumpster?
1, 2, 3, 4, okay.
All those in favor of allowing it?
No, that's.
Abstentions?
No, so I'm a no vote.
No, all those opposed to allowing it?
Yes. Right now, I'm saying I'm voting no to your deny, just because I want the
Yeah.
process.
So I have 4
That's-
people voting the deny,
Yeah.
and
4 to
1
1.
who votes against the denial.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes.
I just want the process to do what the process
Got
does.
it.
So the denial passes.
And I can offer that they can certainly appeal.
Now I
that
know why you
decision.
hate negative motions.
And by the way, I agree with you,
They're
I don't
the
think it
worst
should
thing.
be there, but I felt like we went down one path.
Yeah, no, that's it, it's okay to disagree. But we have way too many
It's all good.
uncontested motions, so.
All right, Central Square update. Parking on the green has been eliminated. We've been communicating back and forth, excuse me. Parking for the I'm not calling it that yet, former parsonage lot. I've explained the rules to it. We're gonna meet when she gets back from her maternity leave, and we're gonna just make sure she understands all of the rules with that parking lot.
Can we go back to the parking on the green?
Yeah,
Did we formally ask them to remove the snow that they plowed up on?
I'm not done yet.
Oh, okay.
Okay, snow will not be pushed back from their parking areas onto the green anymore. She did not know that the maintenance man was doing that. Here's where she did say, snow in the driveway will need to be pushed back somewhere. And so if you've seen it, they pushed it back on like the corner, which is away from the tree, which is on the corner right by the sidewalk. And I said, I'd have to talk to the highway department and I'd have to talk to the board,
So whose property is it on,
ours.
that it can't be done?
So we can suggest that they plow in and they have to put it on their own property.
They can put it wherever they want, as long as it's not on town property.
Okay. Smoking on town property, she will share that information out to the tenants that, she couldn't enforce it, and I said, I'm not asking you to enforce it, I just need you to share the information.
Yeah.
And then there was one other thing that came up about decorations, I'll address that with the decoration committee, so. But I still will meet with her at the beginning of March, but I will let them know. I may not have this completely corrected for the storm that's coming this weekend, but after that, it should be taken care of, so.
So Rob, just a question for you. Particularly in this instance, I agree with you that we can't be pushing snow up there. I guess when you say, okay, it's on town property, no, you can't push the snow. People all over town, and like the right of way is generally town property, and so a lot of times people have to push in many different places.
Yeah.
That is definitely a scenario where it's like, it starts to be detrimental to the way we're trying to decorate the trees and stuff like that. So I'm putting a distinction to what you're saying.
Yes, yeah,
Right,
I'm not saying like, I mean, there's plenty of people that have to push up the corners of
Oh,
their
yeah.
driveway or blow snow on the,
Yeah.
you know, it's
And
just.
they end up in the right of way with all those piles.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's green space, and it's one of those things, the more you go down the rabbit hole with it, it's a lot easier to just say, no, don't put snow on town property, period.
Yeah.
I was just trying to bring it up to see if there's any space.
I mean,
So
what they
right
did for
now it's
years.
right here, just so you know, but I was wondering,
That's an area that we attempt to keep
Right.
clean and
well, that'll
no-
block the view. is
I was
the
gonna
thing
say, it's
when
in their
they're-
own best interest to not put snow there,
Right.
Yeah.
so they don't
Yeah.
get cream coming out.
I mean,
But they can push it back in
Yes.
here, there's, and pile.
that, the only solution with that property, looking at it, and I'm not suggesting this I'm just giving an opinion, I'm not suggesting this as a town official, is to truck snow out of there. They need
Yep.
to hire a private contractor
Yeah.
and have snow trucked out of there X amount of times a year, depending on the amount of snowfall.
Right. True statement.
Okay.
My
I mean,
opinion.
how long have they been doing this, right? For years.
Well, they've
The
been.
prior owners
Well,
had a
this,
different plan. So
this is
maybe-
the worst it's ever been this year. In the past, it's been minimal.
And they're not removing that, are they?
The snow, no,
Okay,
no, because
because that could be more impactful than what's
Yeah.
already there.
they're
So
just
just
not,
leave
they're not pushing any more there, so.
I mean, unless Victor has a good way of doing it, but I don't think it's worth spending the time on or taking the chance of damaging anything, doing more damage than it's already been done.
That's the end of the TA report, but I reserve the right to call Colombo.
Who?
You don't
Detective?
remember that joke, Colombo?
No, I remember the detective. Columbo.
You know, where's that?
I was gonna give you
He had that one last thing,
You're
so.
gonna get an applause for being at the end. Anyways.
Hey, I reserve a Colombo, I shared that joke with you guys a while ago, so I keep calling it a Colombo, because I don't wanna hear it. And one more thing,
Go for it. What do you
no, I'm
want?
good right
Oh,
now.
all right.
I'm good right now.
I'm sure we'll remember something.
Don't forget though.
I thought you were saying that you had one more.
No, don't forget, we do have a non-public meeting to continue at the end of the night. So,
Oh, goody.
select board items.
Select board items, yes? Processing a thought. Same thing happens at home. I can't finish processing the thought.
Right now, you're looking forward to March 15th.
John, what would you like to share with us?
I covered for Dawn at the last planning board meeting. It was,
Thank you.
no, it's all good. It was great to see some of the new businesses coming in, and it's gonna go, we're gonna try to get connected from an economic opportunity committee perspective. But like the tea room that's gonna go across the way, like, just a lot of really, I think, really-
Dentist too.
yeah.
The
So this-
dentist?
There's a new
Yeah.
dentist.
Interesting.
Right, the building coming down where Norton's is now.
The nurse, visiting
lake.
nurse building.
Lakes Region Visiting Nurses.
Yeah, the Norton's, Jeff was in, Godrum, about taking down the Norton's building and what he's trying to do there with some residential apartments above it. So definitely, I think a lot of great activity around the square, and, it just starts to feed into all of those pieces, right? Like, what we're trying to do from a potential on the social district, all that stuff. Like, I think just, there's some great activity, so, that was good. Economic opportunity, I think, is something that we'll pick up on again too as well, so.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I've
There you go.
been working on it, I just.
no, it's been, listen, it's been, yeah, it's all good. There you go, I'm done.
Sean?
Just had, we talked about briefly, just had a resident reach out regarding the advertising signs on 3A heading north. There were various places around sign, like the banner signs.
Oh, the feather banners.
Yeah, that didn't think that they were allowed, and told them we'd follow up and probably, and talking about the sign ordinance will be a better opportunity if and when that passes.
Are those allowed? What's
See, we don't think so.
I don't believe so. but-
Not without site plan.
They're wicked tacky.
Yeah, that was the message.
But
Right.
my concern with them is in one particular instance, a business has them, and if you're trying to turn out of that
It makes
business,
it hard.
they
Yeah.
obstruct the view, and there's a lot of kids crossing the road in that area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and that business was very approachable,
Yeah.
so I don't see, what's that?
No, nothing.
No.
I don't see why we couldn't, or someone couldn't approach them and say, hey, we have these concerns, and I.
There's a couple other, along that
Yeah,
stretch.
but I think they'd be willing to
Yeah.
say, hey, we got a safety concern, and,
Yeah.
he'd be pretty.
That's a good point
reasonable.
about that specific
Yeah,
owner, so.
yeah.
I told him that I would look into it, and we did, and the answer is we're probably gonna be addressing it after the sign ordinance
Yeah,
passes, which it inevitably will.
I would think, because it really is cleaning it up.
Yeah.
It's in the sign ordinance, so.
And that's all I had.
All set.
Hey, before you go too far, I'll do a Columbo on this one.
He can
So
have
you
mine.
remember- And Scott, you may remember this.
You better wait till the end.
We talked about police at the middle school, and when the kids were crossing the way, we talked about the different signs that.
I was just thinking about this today.
Well, because the other day, I was trying to come through the center of town, and there were a bunch of kids that were bolting across the street to try to go to the store, and it was like, I don't remember where we ended up. I know we asked for a couple of things to be looked at, so I wanted to make
It's
sure.
not
we
in the
put that
budget.
Not this year,
It's
no.
not in the budget, but.
Well, but the
Well,
school
it's-
was also gonna take a look at
The
it.
school-
Yeah, it's
the
one, without me having to
didn't
run for
have
select
anything.
board again, it's definitely one of those things I'd like to see pursued.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Anyways,
think
just
Scott
wanted to
had a
bring it up.
very good idea with bringing that forward.
After town meeting.
So that can be on you to-
or something.
Okay.
And we're supposed to
The school
reach out to
can't-
the
isn't
state.
doing it, but,
So when we're in contact with the 10-year project,
yeah.
we need to contact them and see if there's any grants available for those.
Yes,
I know, it's one more thing.
just one more thing. Yes, so after town meeting, once, I should be able to have more information on that, plus the 10-year plan, because we're gonna be doing a kickoff on the 10-year plan coming up.
Yeah.
So that, sorry, I
But
apologize.
if you ask me to do it before town meeting, I'm gonna fail miserably.
No, I don't think we had enough time, and there was enough going on that we didn't pursue it before this town meeting,
Yeah, I also thought
so.
the school was looking at stuff too, and they were gonna come back
They
to us,
are.
that was.
They, I don't think they have it in the budget either, so.
Okay.
But I think we can figure something out.
Okay,
Did you have anything?
do not.
Okay. I have something. There's an event taking place in Bristol this weekend, and here's my question. If an event takes place in town, does it require a permit?
Depends on the event and where it is.
Well, the event's on the ice.
Oh,
Is it in Bristol or?
The shoreline is not, but the ice is.
so the ice on the water becomes a sticky wicket.
Yeah.
But usually if it's an event that may require police coverage, may require fire coverage, may bring a lot of people, they're supposed to.
So this is relative to the Winterfest at Newfound Lake Inn. And they're cutting a hole in the ice and letting people jump in the water.
That's not Bristol.
The water's
The
still.
water is Bristol.
So technically, they're in Bridgewater, though we've never permitted it. They've held it before, and they've done the same thing.
Yeah.
Because the water is Bristol, but the water is under DES,
Yeah.
technically.
It's within the town boundaries.
Yeah,
But we have no authority on the water.
if it was on the water in Bristol, yes, the water is Bristol, but if it was on the water with the shoreline of Bristol, we've been able to require a permit.
Yeah, anything on the water is the state.
My concern is people jumping through a hole in the ice. And I
Right.
understand it's only 4 feet of water, but if you get under the ice shelf, you're not coming
They
back
did it
out.
last year.
I know they did, and they don't, people are untethered. They don't even have, they have Bridgewater Fire Department's standing by, but they're not qualified to respond to that situation if somebody actually goes under the ice.
It
So-
might be something that we should, as, from the town of Bristol, send them a letter that in the future, we have concerns, that we can recommend that you,
Do we, but maybe do you just call Bridgewater? Bridgewater's the town administrator, right?
no.
I mean, it's gonna be us responding when anything happens.
Right, exactly. Well, and that's my concern, is it's going to be Bristol Police and Bristol Fire's problem if anything happens, and it's in Bristol. But the standby coverage is from another town,
I think those.
which is not equipped to deal with the problem.
I do
Is that
think
really
the people that run
Or
these.
are you saying all water in the lake is Bristol?
No, 2/3,
2/3.
yeah.
Okay.
The line goes from above
Oh, yeah,
Bristol
yeah, yeah, that's
Springs
right.
corner to,
It has a strange corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's got part of Pasquaney, it's got Pasquaney Bay as well. All right, yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Luke's, I don't know if
Got
it's there. Yeah, so we've never permitted it.
yeah.
It could be, because I
I don't
still.
And it's
So I'm
legal.
still doing
I don't think it's our
permits, but
jurisdiction though.
What's that?
I don't think it's our
I
jurisdiction.
don't
No,
think
I
so
don't know if
either,
it's,
Marine Patrol?
maybe Marine Patrol?
Right, yeah.
but, it might be
So-
something,
They're gonna have state police standing by?
no.
Yeah, Marine.
Marine Patrol's been on the lake 3 times this year. John.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they've forgotten about us.
yeah. Which is good answer.
There's a level of careful what you wish for.
Yeah, exactly. They were out harassing people for, little kids for wearing blinky
Yes, it
head
is-
things
it
on
is
4th of July, but they weren't out there when people are, bow riding at
Yeah.
30 miles an hour through no wake zones. So,
You can't do that?
yeah.
I don't know, it's shocking.
Never knew that.
Yeah, that's all I got. Public comment.
I have a public comment.
Nope.
Ben.
Right on Beacon Hill. Maybe have fishing game there. All right, because they're qualified to.
Yeah, that's
To
it.
pull out somebody that gets stuck under there.
They're qualified to pull a dead body out, but they don't have a rescue dive team. The only rescue dive team in the state is Nashville Fire Department.
Well, that's interesting.
And they will be out there for the fishing derby, so, but they won't be monitoring that, most likely.
Yeah, but, so, he brings up a good point, fishing derby, we don't permit them, but they are, some of it is in Bristol.
Actual fishing is, but the,
But the actual headquarters isn't, is what you're saying.
Right.
yeah, because the actual headquarters is in Alexandria.
Alexandria.
It used to be in Bristol, it used to be at Cummings Beach.
I was gonna say, they used to put a trailer at
Yeah.
Cummings Beach.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Where do they do it now?
At the beach.
well,
Oh,
actually,
well,
with the
yeah.
boat
At
ramp,
the boat
yeah.
ramp,
yeah. Where they built that complete waste of state money. Of a loading ramp there, nice job, state of New Hampshire.
Well,
How
wait
do
a
you really
minute
feel?
though, because Wellington Beach is in Bristol.
What's that?
Wellington is in Bristol,
Part of it,
part of it.
Part of it,
So
yes.
did they put it there?
They put it
Right at the boat
boat
ramp.
launch. Right at the boat
Yeah,
launch.
it's Bristol.
That's actually Bristol still.
So they should technically have it.
So we've never permitted, how many
Yeah.
years have they been doing that? We've never
Sure.
permitted it, but.
the right of the sovereign, we call that.
Send them a permit.
I'll tell
Problem
George.
solved. Yeah. Any other public comment? Sir, did you?
Yeah, I have a follow-up. This is, I was here last summer.
Yep.
About the stormwater drainage situation in Holiday Hills. And at that time, it was spring, stormwater is channeled to a catch basin that was on my yard from many catch basins throughout the neighborhood. It's been an issue forever. And the pipe that went from that catch basin to an open culvert collapsed, and it caused a backup, and a lot of people in the neighborhood got flooded. So, to resolve that, I asked you guys if you guys could participate in fixing that pipe, and I was denied that. So I contracted a guy to dig out the old pipe. The town supplied me 100 feet of pipe, which I connected to the existing catch basin, and I ran it in the direction of the culvert to my property line. covered it up. I still have quite a bit of site work to do. I'm gonna wait till the snow melts and the dirt all settles, but that's a mess. But anyway, soon thereafter, the town came by and cut the road, because the completion of the project required that I deadheaded the pipe, basically, that it goes from there into the culvert, and then from that open culvert under the road into a wetlands, and eventually, I guess it works its way to the lake. So soon after I finished, the town came by, cut the road, and finished the project. They put a pipe in to the end of my pipe, into the culvert, and all of that. And 25 feet of that was on my neighbor's private property. And the town did that, dug it out, buried it, graded it, seeded it, but they wouldn't touch mine, and I'm wondering why.
If it's where I think it is, we have a right of way.
We actually own the pipe on the other property and we have a right of way. So we own the pipe from where your pipe ends and all that in under the road. So that's,
Right.
so.
You have an easement on mine as well.
We have an easement to flow water,
Yeah.
but not,
Right, I understand that, yeah.
Yeah.
But is that right, that you could do my neighbor's private property, but you couldn't come on my private property?
If it's based on us owning the pipe and the right of way, the right of way to maintain, not just flow the water. So it's a different set of circumstances.
Just in the last 25 feet, you have different licensing of some sort?
So
Yeah.
anything anyone says about this is kind of speculation at this
Yeah.
point, because we don't really know for sure.
Right.
I would say,
Victor did confirm that we
Yeah.
do have right to maintain, right to flowage, right to, and the pipe is ours.
But just on that?
Just
Just
for the
on
20
that
feet.
property.
Just for the 20 feet.
Right. The rest of the property, the former owner never conveyed anything to the town except for the flowage rights, is what we've been able to determine.
Yeah.
We haven't determined anything further than that, so.
yeah. I can assure you, as you heard my comments earlier about what's good for one
Right.
citizen and what's good
Right.
for the next, is we're certainly not in the business of
Yeah.
taking care of Peter but not
I
Paul.
understand.
So without knowing all the true, or all the actual facts of that, I guess what I'm saying is I'm not prepared to answer that question right now.
I didn't expect anybody.
Yeah. I certainly hope it's a different circumstance.
Yeah.
We'll pull out
Yeah.
that, yeah. Because I know we had some of it when you were here last time
Yeah.
on your property,
my
but we'll
property,
pull the rest of it, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And one more comment I have is that apparently it's a big system that covers the whole neighborhood, and apparently it's a pretty important piece of town infrastructure. And I was left to contract it, plan it, do it all by myself. Nobody stopped by and looked while the work was done. I informed Christina when it was gonna be done, so she knew, when Victor knew.
Yeah.
Nobody ever saw anything.
Well, I guess,
It's working now, I think it's working, you
Yeah,
know,
well,
I'll know for
yeah.
sure in a few months.
yeah.
But I believe everything came out well.
Victor supplied the pipe though, right?
That's it, left the pipe on my yard.
Okay,
That's
so,
all.
okay. Because I know one of the things that we said was the town would basically, we would give you the pipe, so
Right.
we
And that
followed
happened.
through on that.
Right,
Okay,
thank
so
you for that, I appreciate that.
No, I'm not looking for, I
Yeah,
guess
no.
what I'm getting at is like, I'm just trying to make sure that, I think that when we had the discussion about your stuff before, sort of to the point that Rob was making, is we didn't have the easement set up such that it was the town's responsibility, right? So for all we knew, and again, this goes back to the research, it was an open pit before,
Right,
and then someone, at some point
Some previous
before
owner.
you, decided to go, you know what? I wanna put a pipe in and cover it over so I have a better yard and not a pit in the middle, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, at that time, they would have been better off trying to work through the town process and go, okay, hey, we wanna do this because of the importance of this to your
yeah,
overall infrastructure,
Yeah.
right? That is ultimately, the way I see it for me, that's the ultimate difference.
okay.
If we have an agreement on the other one, even if it's, 20 feet, whatever it was,
Mhm.
that the agreement was, we have to maintain it, and that's what we have to do. It becomes sticky for me when I start to look at it and peel it back that way. As long as we fulfilled what we said, which is, hey, well,
Okay.
if you're gonna do that part, we will at least make sure you get the pipe.
Yep.
And then the pipe that then is properly specified, which then allows us to sort of take a look and go, yeah, the pipe is the right size or the wrong
Yeah.
size, because,
Yeah. But then I'm the only one that knows how it was installed.
And the contractor.
Yeah.
And the contractor.
Yeah.
Right, all that other stuff.
hopefully.
Which, I mean, I think I did it right. I
Yeah,
think I
yeah.
know what I'm doing.
Well,
But
in the
I
end-
would think,
We don't have a code enforcement officer, so.
right,
It's gotta be
No,
better
but
than,
I would think somebody would have,
I did share it with Victor, I just can't confirm it. Who on his crew went out. I know that they've got, did go out around that area, I just can't confirm if they did while the construction was
I was in
going on.
that pit the whole day, nobody came by.
not that.
Yeah.
And I guess we probably need a little more information on our end,
Yep.
and maybe follow up with Christina.
Okay.
I think it's reasonable to say that when the snow goes and everything settles,
We'll go on now.
we could ask Victor to head out there and make sure that water is flowing sufficiently.
The water flows out.
Yeah.
The catch basin went down to nothing right away,
Okay,
and
good.
water's coming out of the
Yeah.
other end. So I'm fairly
Yeah.
certain that it's correct.
Yeah,
But, you know, wouldn't you guys want to be certain? And just one last comment is, it still goes into a big open pit. That culvert is 6, 7 feet deep, usually obscured by a Japanese knotweed that grows around it, and it's just an open hole. And it doesn't seem like the safest thing in the world to me.
at the end of the 25 feet on the
Yes,
neighbor.
and just before it goes under the road is just a big wet open pit.
Yeah, I know what you're
And
talking
you would
about.
think that maybe another catch basin would have been appropriate. And that one apparently you do own.
Yeah. It sort of-
And that has nothing to do with me, that's off my
Yeah,
property.
yeah, no, and I appreciate the, yeah, I haven't seen that end of the pipe.
The reason the highway department didn't have the capability of doing that, we would have had to contract that out,
Right.
and I don't think that was in the budget at the
Okay.
time.
We
But
can
that's
take a look
something
at
we
that.
can talk
We
about.
can take a look at that, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that has a little bit of crossover with the road,
Yeah,
you know, the road committee looking at proper drainage and
yeah.
all that other stuff, so, okay.
And then we'd have to attach probably to the state culvert.
No, good.
No, there's
No,
some
it's on the
area
other
between,
side.
it filters through a wet area down.
Yeah.
So when,
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it goes under a road and it filters in what's called marsh, basically, and then
Yeah.
eventually
Yeah.
it comes back together to a stream and heads to the lake.
Yeah.
so you're not suggesting attaching, just putting a catch basin at the end?
Yeah,
Like
just
filter
replacing
out.
a big open hole with a catch basin with
Before it
rail
goes
over
under
it,
the
so that
road,
kids
right?
don't
Yeah.
fall in there or people don't fall in.
It's before it goes under.
You
the-
talking on your side of the road or on the other side?
On my side of the road.
On your
Yeah,
side?
on the other side of the road, at least it's open enough that we would, if anybody fell, it would sort of tumble in and just walk out.
Yeah,
But the culvert is kind of difficult, I was in it, so I know, it's kind of tough to get out of if you're
Yeah.
getting in there.
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, I think the hard part generally is, you know, when you look at just general drainage for this part of New Hampshire, right?
Right.
We've got trenches everywhere and, you know, especially the older developments, right? The ones, because I think, we had somebody else come in, who's that, 65?
Yeah.
Roughly thereabouts, right?
Yeah.
So the stringency on how those things are put together wasn't necessarily the same today as it was then when they did it, right? So I
Yeah,
think it's just a balancing act.
yeah.
I will, I'll head out there in the spring when things are running off and take a look at that
Please.
area and if you, I'll reach out. So,
Okay,
if
yeah,
you-
Christina knows what.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Okay, all right, so I guess I'm still not gonna get any help from the town as far as site work. I gotta try.
Not as of tonight. But like I said, we might, that catch basin might be needed. I know Victor, you said Victor talked about it,
Yeah.
but we didn't have the ability to put it in ourselves.
No, I think that originally when we first started talking with, when Victor first started talking, not me, but they were talking about if you had hired JP Morrison, that we would hire them to do the catch basin and the culvert under
Yeah.
the road.
Yeah,
But then, what came out of the board was different, so they replaced the pipes, but I don't think they had the ability to do the catch basin.
okay, I'll touch base with Victor and then we'll get.
Yeah, I put it on my list to
Okay,
check into.
thank you.
so.
All right, just one more comment, the quote I got from JP Morrison was 10 grand.
Yeah.
15 grand? I got it done for 1,600. So, for what that's worth to you.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm done.
Awesome.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you, folks. Anybody else have anything?
On the matter of culverts, thinking about it, I have a piece of property on River Road, another piece of property that has a wetland area, and it goes into a culvert under the road, which is a state road.
State maintained, yes.
So the culvert last winter, and I haven't looked this year, was blocked. And and there were some guys that came and worked on it, I don't know where they were from, worked on it a bit, and then they left, and it's not fixed. And so who would I contact or notify about that? Is that state or town?
Yeah, it'd be the state, it's the district supervisor.
You could probably call the state shed over here.
Yeah,
No, that's New Hampton.
it's a different district.
New Hampton
River-
handles
So-
River Road.
District.
The Interstate Shed,
Yeah.
District
It's
3?
not two.
It's
Two
not
is
District
here.
2.
So,
It's behind the parking ride in New Hampton. If you turn up where the parking ride is and continue past, that's where the state shed is. That handles that
What
road.
parking lot?
The parking ride, right off
Parking
exit
ride,
23.
Before- before
New
and then
Hampton.
there's a shed?
Yeah.
So they, that's
Yes, if
state?
you
Yeah.
go
The state.
online and you look up New Hampshire DOT districts,
Yeah.
you'll see, it'll show you what district you're in. You just
Okay.
call the office for
Okay.
that district.
Okay, but it's a
Yeah.
state.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because even if, it's not gonna do you much good going to the shed, because that's basically the foreman for the area there. But you'd wanna actually talk to somebody in the district office.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're looking for the district engineer.
Huh?
The
Exactly.
district engineer
Okay.
is who you search for it real quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna,
Thank you.
let me see if I can find it here.
I just pulled it up, it wasn't on this list, so.
All right, anybody have anything else while looking this up?
Make a motion to go into non-public under 91A3C,
A, B, and C.
A, B, and C. Yeah,
Second?
Do I have a second?
I just did.
Oh, I thought you said say it again.
Can we,
Hold on 1 second, don't leave.
can we take a?
Motion by
just a
Sean, second by Scott to go into non-public session.
Thank you,
Roll call
folks.
vote.
It's nice having people in attendance, it's usually.
I just, so I just
Aye.
pulled up
Thanks, guys.